Everybody, how's it going? Jimbo here, and I guess today we're going to talk about my latest firearm acquisition. It's been quite a while since I've purchased a firearm, and definitely been even longer than that since I've sat down here and done a little tabletop discussion. This is definitely not going to be a review, more of just a first impression slash mini range report, and just give you guys my thoughts on this one, since this is a newer firearm. It's only been out for a couple of months. There are some other really good videos out there on it, and I recommend that you check those out. You'll probably see them in the sidebar. But as always, I just kind of like to throw my hat in the ring and tell you what I think. So here we go. Well, first of all, what you may notice is there is no Ruger logo on this gun. That's right, folks. Broke the streak. This is my first non-Ruger pistol. This is a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 9mm. This gun is also available in 40 Smith & Wesson. For those of you who are interested. Personally, I'm a little bit bigger of a fan of 9mm, especially in this size of gun. It just, in my opinion at least, the caliber tends to fit the size of the gun a little bit better overall. It's just my opinion. 40 works better for you, that's great. As a quick FYI, guys, every gun that you're going to see in this video has already been safety checked, but just for shits and giggles, I'll show you that this one's clear. You will see other guns in here. I'm probably not going to safety check those because those have already been safety checked. You'll just have to take my word for it. Okay, so let's talk about this gun. Like I said, it's very new. I believe it came out in April. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So it hasn't been out all that long. This is Smith & Wesson's latest offering in the M&P line. This is a single stack gun. So as you'll notice when you look at it this way, it's definitely not all that wide. It's a lot skinnier of a gun. These particular types of guns are really popular right now, those being single stacked. I will call this a subcompact 9mm. Wouldn't go quite as far as a pocket gun per se. I can fit this in my pocket, my front pocket in cargo pants, and it does totally conceal, but to me this is just a little bit too big to be a pocket pistol. To give you a comparison for what I would refer to as a pocket pistol, I'll give you what I will call, and I'll bet a lot of people would agree with me, the quintessential pocket pistol, the Ruger LCP. This will fit in anyone's pocket pretty much with a pocket holster. I have carried this in a pocket holster and on my hip, and as you can see, it's considerably smaller than the Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield. And considering that the M&P 9 Shield is not a large gun, that's really saying something. This is a very, very small gun. Definitely a pocket pistol by my estimation. But that being said, this one is still definitely smaller than your traditional compact 9mm. Again, we'll bring in a comparison here. The Ruger SR9 Compact. Definitely in my mind, one of the best examples of a compact carry 9mm out there. To the best of my knowledge, the SR9 platform still is the thinnest double stack 9mm available. Again, that may not be currently true, guys. That was the last I'd read, which I think was last year. It was the skinniest. It was by a pretty narrow margin, but it was still the skinniest for a double stack. And the reason I bring that up is when you look at these two side by side, you'll notice a pretty significant width difference. The M&P 9 Shield is definitely skinnier than the Ruger SR9C. It almost makes the SR9C look fat, which really is not an easy thing to do because this is not kind of a chunky gun. It's not like a Glock 26, which is really, really chunky in the hand. This is significantly slimmer than that, and the M&P Shield 9mm makes that look chunky. So just take that for what it's worth. Okay, and for one more comparison, just to give you a full-size 9mm, this is the Ruger SR9. Basically the same dimensions as a Glock 19. I'm sure just about all of you out there have seen one of those before. So we'll use that as a little visual aid. Yeah, the M&P Shield 9 definitely significantly smaller than a standard size 9mm. This is a 4.1-inch barrel, I believe, 17-round magazine. So just to give you an idea. Okay, and the barrel in this one I believe is 3.1 inches. The weight on it, I believe unloaded is just under 20 ounces, 18, 19 ounces, something like that. So loaded, you're in the low 20s. They do give you actually two magazines, the standard flush magazine, which is 7 rounds, and they also give you an 8-round magazine with a little extender on the bottom, so you can get a better grip on it right there. However, I found that actually even with the flush magazine, I don't have a problem really getting all three of my fingers on there. I mean, it is kind of close, but I don't have to put my pinky down below. You know, it's snug, but definitely not uncomfortable, at least for me personally. I don't really have fat fingers. I don't have long fingers. I've got, I think, what a lot of guys would call just absolutely the textbook case of average size male hands for my height, width, body size, etc. So I've shot this firearm with both magazines, and I guess I can tell a little bit of a difference between the two magazines as far as the grip. My accuracy goes up just a hair when I use the extended mag, since you've got just a little bit more real estate in the grip, but nothing that I would call significant. Alright, so let's talk about the gun in and of itself, some features and etc. Now that you've seen a little bit of range footage there, which I will be showing more of throughout this video. Okay, as far as the features itself, it does have a manual safety. Unfortunately, it is kind of righty only. It's not reversible. It's not ambidextrous. It does have a ambidextrous mag release, actually, that can be reversed. So I guess it's technically not ambidextrous, but you can move it over there for you lefties, which is definitely cool. Okay, the takedown of the gun, basically the same as a Ruger SR9 or a standard Glock 19. These are all basically the same. You do not have to pull the trigger to take it down, so I guess that's the one difference between this and a Glock. You don't either on a Ruger either, so pretty simple stuff. I will say this, the sights on this thing are actually really awesome. The reason I say that is, first of all, they are adjustable, and second of all, it's generally low profile. I know it doesn't really look like it right here, but when you compare it to something like the Ruger SR9 Compact, which definitely does not have low pro sights, it's got fully adjustable sights. You can see that the Smith & Wesson 9mm shield definitely sits a little bit lower. And another thing you'll probably notice is look at the difference in the dot size on the shield versus the SR9 Compact. This definitely has larger, more visible white dots. So your target acquisition, at least in my opinion, is a lot faster. You know, once you get it up there on target, I've really had no problem lining the sights up and you know, getting them down range. So excellent job on that one, Smith & Wesson. That was really impressive. Another thing I definitely want to talk about is the trigger. The trigger on this thing, I'm just going to say it, is absolutely outstanding. It's one of the best triggers on any gun that I've ever fired. And in my personal opinion, guys, I'm a bit of a trigger snob. Simply because of the guns that I started on were things like the Ruger SR9 and Ruger SR9 Compact, safety check, and the Ruger SR9 Compact, as quoted by my colleague here on YouTube, Hickok45, has a trigger that he compared to a Glock competition level trigger, and I would agree with that, since I've shot a Glock with a competition trigger on it. And Ruger SR9 Compact just has one of the best triggers out there because it breaks so cleanly and it's so short, and the pull weight on it is so light. To give you an example, that's it, and then it goes off. So really no frills, really easy to shoot, very accurate, very easy to double or triple tap. And this kind of, you know, for a while now has always been my benchmark for what I would call a good trigger. And really haven't fired any guns that, in my opinion, really and truly stack up to this as far as I'm concerned. I've fired, you know, guns with decent triggers, guns with okay triggers, guns with not so okay triggers, but I really haven't found anything that I felt really measured up to this. You know, call me spoiled, call me snobby, but whatever. You know, everyone has a basis for comparison, and this one has always been mine. So, that being said, I can go on record and say the trigger on the M&P 9 Shield definitely stacks up to the Ruger SR9 Compact. Virtually identical, in my opinion, as far as break and pull weight and just clean, you know, the clean feeling of the trigger is just absolutely top notch. To give you a quick example, again, this has been safety checked. It's got a little bit more take up than the Ruger SR9, but not really all that much, and then boom. So not that much weight behind it. You know, definitely not a super long trigger. To give you an idea of what I call a super long trigger, the Ruger LCP definitely has one of the longest triggers out there. I mean, it's got a lot of take up, and look, you got to pull it all the way to the back to get it to go off. So if any of you guys have ever shot the Ruger LCP, you definitely know what I mean. I mean, it's a reliable gun. It goes boom every single time you pull the trigger, but that is just too damn long of a trigger. for it to be, you know, a range queen, you know, something that you can practice with often. But something like this, where you just, you know, pick it up and boom, you know, it goes off. Very easy to shoot, very easy to practice with. So excellent job on that one, Smith & Wesson. That was definitely my major holdout as far as purchasing a single stack 9mm. There's a lot of other options out there. You know, there's the new Beretta Nano. There is the Ruger LC9, which is the big brother to the LCP, which I heard had relatively the same trigger problem as the LCP, so that was kind of a big turnoff for me. The compact car, which, you know, the cars have a decent trigger. I've shot my buddy Keelan Edge Weapon 88's here car, and that one definitely I did find impressive. That's a really well-built gun. It's a kind of a different trigger than I guess I'm used to. The pull on it is very consistent. And it is very, you know, it's continuous, and it's a good trigger. You know, it's definitely something I could practice with, but it's just a little bit different of a flavor that I'm used to. Not that it's any better or any worse, just different. This was pretty much exactly what the doctor ordered as far as Jimbo's concerned, because this is the kind of trigger that I like shooting. It's, you know, just kind of right on the money, right in that sweet spot that I like my guns to be. So definitely the first big plus that I noticed at the range. The first time I squeezed the trigger, I was like, holy crap, man, that thing's awesome. So good stuff on that one. As far as what I think about the gun dimensions, well, I mean, it's I don't have a holster for it yet, but I have tried it in my crossbreed Super Tuck for my SR9 Compact, and it kind of sort of fits. I just kind of walking around the house with it, just seeing how it feels. And the first thing I noticed was, even with a loaded magazine, it's so much lighter than the Ruger SR9 Compact, which is by no means a heavy firearm. And it's just because of the slimness and the form factor, and I guess the fact that it does carry a few less rounds. You know, it just shaves a few ounces off the carry weight. And the fact that it's so skinny, you know, it doesn't kind of bulge out of your side there. It just feels like such a comfortable carry. And I'm really looking forward to going back to the range and shooting it more, and eventually getting a Super Tuck for it so that I can actually carry it once I feel comfortable doing so. So, want to thank you guys for watching. I hope any of you out there who are curious about the M&P 9mm Shield have found this video helpful. Again, these are merely my thoughts. This is by no means a review. Just kind of a first impression and a little bit of a tabletop discussion of the new M&P 9mm Shield. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave me them down below, and I'll be happy to answer them. And get ready for some more range footage. I'm definitely going to be doing some more with this in the coming videos here, so please stay tuned for that. And as soon as I feel you know, all cut and dry and ready with it, I will definitely be doing a review on this gun, so stay tuned for that. Again, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time.